This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. There's no
No, ma'am.
response. Okay. Whatever you all must have used it at home at least. See, in order to crush ginger and all, we use a small kind of a mortar with a pestle. With it's made of what you can say stone. Anybody like to make this card? Okay. In this, we are going to take these, what you can see, the liquid paraffin and the chloroform. We are going to mix this and along with this gum and tragacan. And then later you're going to add a little quantity of water and then the remaining ingredients. And at the end, you're going to make up with the purified water such that you get 1000 ml of water, minimal. Next is intravenous emulsion. So these are oil soluble hormones, vitamin A, D, and K. These are used as IV injections, and even emulsified oils also injected as diagnostic aids. So here the prerequisite for this emulsion is the globule size should be very small, and also they must be completely sterile, that is free from microorganisms, as this are intravenous, that is directly goes into your blood or your systemic circulation. It's injected, it's not taken internally, so they should be free from microorganisms. Next is the emulsion for external use. So these could be anything, any oil and water type also there, water and oil type emulsions are also used for external use. So when you emulsify a drug, what happens is more amount of the drug can get penetrated through the skin and the rate of penetration also will get reduced. And thus the action of the drug is also increased. Okay. So generally the emulsions for application to the skin are semi-solid at room temperature and they are considered to be an excellent vehicle. So next is suspension. So unlike the emulsion here, it is not two liquids. We have finely divided solid particles which are dispersed in a liquid. So in the previous emulsion slide you had seen that two liquid phases are there which are mixed and you get emulsion. But here, though it's called as biphasic liquid dosage form, it's finely divided solid particles which are dispersed in a liquid. So that liquid is your continuous phase and your finely divided solid particles are the dispersed phase. So these suspensions can be taken internally, that is orally or even by parenteral route. They also may be used for external applications. So nowadays what they do is they do not, formulate it as it is like in suspension form. They are generally in powder form. And it's only whenever you want to use it, you're going to add whatever vehicle is required. The specified quantity of vehicle will be added to those dry powder and then used. So just before use, you're supposed to add the specified amount of vehicle and into the dry powder, and then what you will get is the suspension form. So this is done in order to stabilize or ensure the stability of the suspension. The examples of our suspensions are ampicillin for oral suspension, barium sulfate for suspension IP, insulin zinc suspension, okay, both amorphous and crystalline forms. So these are the properties of an ideal suspension, how it should be. So see, it should settle slowly, and as you shake it, it should get redispersed. So those fine solid particles should not settle at the end after shaking also. So once you shake, it should get redispersed if at all if it has settled. And the particle size again should be constant throughout the long period of undisturbed standing. So it's not like for a long period you've just kept it and later the particle size has changed. No. So ideal suspension should be like one whose particle size will not change, will remain constant for a long period of undisturbed standing. And again, if you have a container, when you're trying to pour it, it's not get stuck. It should be, you should be able to pour it readily and evenly. So whenever, suppose I'm taking the suspension from the container and only the liquid is coming out and the particles are still stuck to the container, so no point there. So it should be such that it will pour readily and evenly from the container. Then also they should be free from large particles which spoil its appearance and give a gritty taste to oral preparation, and also cause irritation to sensitive tissues when applied externally. Then these suspensions are supposed to be packed in containers where there is enough space. Now see, if a container is there, it should not be filled completely till the top. There should be enough space so that when I shake, I am able to shake it properly. Or there is, it should allow adequate shaking should be there. And then again, it should be, we have seen that the suspension should be able to, or we should pour it readily and evenly from the container. So for it to happen, you have, the container should be wide mouthed so that you can remove it easily. And again, it should be stored in tight containers so that it's protected from too much of heat, light, and freezing. So, and this also should be shaken just before use so that the solid particles are distributed uniformly in the vehicle. Okay. So next is semi-solid dosage form. So whatever we have seen so far is liquid dosage form we have completed. Monophasic we had seen in the last class, and today we have seen biphasic. Any questions? Are you all there or slept off? Meghna?
No, ma'am.
So then when I asked you, you should say yes or no, no? If you all don't have questions, we can proceed. Anybody? Any question?
No, ma'am.
Is
No,
Dinesh
ma'am.
there?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. That's okay. Dinesh, is he there? Because I did not see him in the attendance. Dinesh isn't there, right? Muttu Raja also is not there, correct? If you all are there, please do say present. I'm going. Aisha is not there, and Dinesh isn't there. Muttu Raja is not there. Harshvardhan, because I heard you were there for the last class. Harshvardhan is also not there. The rest all are present, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Next is semi-solid dosage form. So these are generally used for external application, that is over the skin. And you all have seen in the market so many ointments, creams, paste, jellies. These are all examples of semi-solid dosage forms. So even suppositories, which you use it to insert into the rectum, the vagina, these are also semi-solid dosage forms, but they are unit dosage form, single. See, you ointments and all are not unit dosage form, they're bulk. So these ointments are semi-solid preparations which are meant for application to either to the skin or also you can apply to the mucous membrane. And they will contain an ointment base will be there. In this base, the medicine will be added or the medicament will be either, they will be either dissolved completely or they will be suspended or emulsified in this ointment base. And they also will contain a antimicrobial preservative in order to stop the growth of the microorganisms. So these are mainly used as protective or emollient. Suppose emollient is nothing but like if you want to make your skin soft. So for softening of the skin and all, or for protection of the skin, we are going to use these ointments. Now, besides this external application, we have also seen they are used for mucous membrane, right? So they can also be used application or used for applying to the eye. So the ones which are used for apply into the eye, these ointments are known as ophthalmic ointments. So since these are supposed to be applied to the eye, they should be sterile, that is free from microorganisms, and also free from irritation. They should not contain any gritty particles, or they should not contain any foreign particles. So normally when we prepare these ointments, yellow soft paraffin is used and instead of white soft paraffin. Why is because see, this white soft paraffin is derived again from yellow soft paraffin, but they use a bleaching agent. So that's how we get this white paraffin. But there are in some cases traces of this bleaching agent will remain. So this may irritate the eye. Hence, for ophthalmic ointments, we will use only yellow soft paraffin and not white soft paraffin. Okay. Is it clear why we use only yellow soft paraffin? Because white soft paraffin is made from yellow paraffin after bleaching the yellow. That is, there will be a bleaching agent. So even after the whole process is completed, there are sometimes traces of this bleaching agent which can irritate the eye. So we do not use white soft paraffin and instead yellow soft paraffin is used. Is there any disturbance other than me talking? No music at all? Okay, fine. So now we'll come to see what kind of properties the ointment base should possess. So every time they give this for an ideal ointment base, these are the following properties. So at the end we will see all these properties will not be always present in a single base. So for that they may use multiple, 2 or more bases also may be used because you will not find all these properties in one base. So for an ointment base, first is it should be inert, that is it should not react. It should be odorless and smooth. Then next is it should be physically and chemically stable. Then it should be compatible with the skin and also with the incorporated medicaments. They should not react or form any other kind of reaction. Then it should be of a consistency that it spreads and softens when applied to the skin with stress. So when you take it, just like that, it should easily apply to the skin. And it should not retard healing of the wound. So we are already adding a medicament maybe for treatment of the wound. So this ointment base should not interfere and it should not stop or slow the healing of the wound. Next property is it should not produce irritation or sensitization of the skin. So as I said, all these properties will generally not be seen in one single base. So they use a many bases. So these are the types of the ointment base. First is oleaginous base. Then we have absorption base. Third is emulsion. And the last is water soluble bases. So first we will see the oleaginous bases. So these bases are generally consisting of water soluble hydrocarbons. They may be also made up of vegetable oils, animal fats and waxes. So these water soluble hydrocarbons consist of soft paraffin, hard paraffin and liquid paraffin. Animal fats consist of lard. So these bases, they help to keep the medicament in prolonged contact with the skin and also act as occlusive dressings. So thus, for a long time, the medicine or the active pharmaceutical ingredient or the medicament which is present in this ointment will be there and for a long contact with this skin. It will not get wiped off soon. It will stick to the skin and easily spread, and also it will act as a occlusive dressing. So they also have a low capacity to absorb water and used chiefly for emollient effects, that is softening of the skin. But a few disadvantage of these oleaginous bases was seen, that is they are very greasy. Okay, and they're also sticky. So when you apply to your skin, it is seen that sometimes it will stick to your cloth or to your skin. It will not easily come off. It's very difficult to remove. And also they retain the body heat. So hence you will feel too much of warmth. You will feel as a kind of uncomfortable feeling of warmth will be seen. So whatever body heat is, it will be retained because of these oleaginous bases. And they also do not help in the absorption of medicaments. So that's why they are not generally used, because of these disadvantages. Okay. The next base is the absorption base. So these are generally anhydrous substance, that is which do not contain enough water, which have the property of absorbing considerable quantities of water but still retaining the ointment-like consistency. So now these absorption bases are again divided into two types, or classified into two types. One is non-emulsified base and the other is water in oil emulsion. So non-emulsified base, they absorb water and aqueous solution, producing water and oil emulsion. Example are wool fat, wool alcohol, beeswax, and cholesterol. So remember, non-emulsified bases are the ones which absorb water and aqueous solutions. And these are also used as vehicles for aqueous liquids or as solutions of medicaments. Water and oil. Water and oil emulsions. I made a mistake here. It should have been the water and oil emulsions are capable of absorbing more water, so that non-emulsified basis is not supposed to be there, and they will absorb more water and have the properties of non-emulsified bases. Example, hydrous wool fat, lanolin, and these bases are used as vehicle for aqueous liquids or as solution of medicaments. And the second last is the emulsion bases. So these are semi-solid or have a cream-like consistency. And here both we are going to use emulsion, means both oil and water is also used, and as well as water and oil emulsions are used as ointment bases. So these oil and water type of emulsion is more popularly used because they can easily be removed from the skin or clothes. So unlike the previous one where we saw they stick or they are greasy, like the oleogenous bases, they were very greasy, they were very sticky, and you could not remove it from the skin. But emulsion base you can easily remove from the skin. So these are more popular and generally preferred. And the water and oil type of bases are greasy and sticky. So the examples are compound benzoic acid ointment, that is Whitfield's ointment, and zinc and dicyanoate ointment. So these are prepared by using the emulsifying ointment. Next is the water soluble bases, and so these are commonly known as greaseless ointment base. The name suggests they are non-greasy. So these will consist of water soluble ingredients like polyethylene glycol polymers or PEG, which are generally known as carbowaxes. So these carbowaxes are water soluble, non-volatile and inert substances, and they are available in varying consistencies depending upon their molecular weight. So the commonly used ones are PEG or polyethylene glycol 400, 1500, 4000 and 6000. These are the ones which are usually used for as ointment bases. And by mixing different carbowaxes, like for example, I can mix 400 and 1500, I can vary the consistency. The examples of the commonly used ointments are here. There is emulsifying ointment IP. We have emulsifying wax, whites of paraffin and liquid paraffin. You're going to melt these waxes and the whites of paraffin and then add the liquid paraffin and then stir until it attains room temperature. Next is creams. So these creams are viscous semi-solid preparations which are meant for external use. So again, under creams we have two types, aqueous creams and oil creams. So emulsions are oil and water type. So the aqueous creams are nothing but the emulsions which are oil and water type. They are non-greasy, emulsifying, anionic, cationic and non-ionic waxes or polysorbates and triethanolamine soaps are used as the emulsifying agent. Whereas in oil creams, the emulsions are water and oil type. And the emulsifying agents used here are wool fat, wool alcohol, beeswax, and calcium. So here in aqueous cream, we have to again use a suitable preservative in order to stop the growth of microorganisms. So the storages, it should be stored in well-closed container so that evaporation is prevented and there is no contamination. Or even you can use collapsible tubes of metal or suitable plastic for storage of creams. This is an example of cream, hydrocortisone cream, the ingredients. And then last is paste. So paste are semi-solid preparation. So see the difference between, remember, ointment, creams and paste. So paste is a little more thicker and stiffer when you compare with the ointments. Okay, so pastes are semi-solid preparations which are again used or are used for external application to the skin, but they differ from ointment as they contain a high proportion of finely powdered medicaments like zinc oxide, calcium carbonate, and starch. So these are the ingredients, that is zinc oxide, calcium carbonate, and starch, which makes the paste very thick and stiff. And also another difference from ointments are they are less greasy. So when you compare ointments and paste, first point you can say is they are non-greasy. So pastes are less greasy than ointments. Ointments are more greasy, and they are also very thick and stiff, these pastes. So the stiffness property again is used as, they makes them useful as protective coatings. So they are used mainly as antiseptic, protective or soothing dressings. So they are not as it is applied. Like ointment, you can simply apply it on the skin without using anything. Here, you're going to take a cloth or a lint. On that, you're supposed to spread this paste and then we will apply it on the skin. So the storage conditions are they should be stored and supplied in containers which are made of materials which will not allow absorption or diffusion of the contents. Then finally, jellies. So jellies, these are transparent or translucent, non-greasy, semi-solid preparations mainly used for external application to the skin. So most of you all must have had in orally or eaten jellies similar to that only, but these are used for external application to the skin. So using it, they are used for lubricating the surgical gloves or rectal thermometers. As you cannot insert into the rectum, you need to lubricate first. So for that you use these jellies. So the substance like gelatin, starch, tragacan, they are used, sodium alginate or cellulose derivatives are used in jellies. And also they are used for contraceptive purpose and contain surfactants to enhance the spermicidal properties of the jellies. So the next one is new drug delivery system, which we will see in the next class. So before winding up, any doubts? Are you all following? Am I too fast or too slow?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, you're a little fast.
No, ma'am.
Okay, who said I'm a little fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not hear. Who's that?
Ma'am,
You want me
Pooja
to
Devi. Ma'am,
Pooja
some
Devi.
slow.
Okay, fine. I'll try to go at a medium pace. Okay.
A little
Any
bit, ma'am.
doubts? Are you all understanding what I'm teaching you on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If at all, anytime you all have doubt, you all can stop me then and there and ask me the doubts. Okay. So simply don't listen and don't make me ask you all every time. Do you all have any doubts? So whenever you all have doubts, you all don't know any, I don't understand any term or any word or any definition you all want, you all can ask me. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So shall we wind up? I guess it's lunchtime for you all also. Okay. Once again, Aisha is not there, Dinesh isn't there, Muttaraj is not there, and Harshvardhan, right? Everybody else is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So next we'll meet you all on Wednesday. So do read. Has everybody got any soft copies or have you all purchased books? How are you all reading so far?
Ma'am, which book should we refer, ma'am?
R.M. Mehta. There is the author's name is R.M. Mehta. The subject, I mean, the textbook name itself is Pharmaceutics 1. The same subject, how it is, no? Pharmaceutics 1 is the textbook name. And the author's name is R.M. Mehta. Okay, R is the initial, RM is the initial, and Mehta is the surname. So y'all can, only this book is enough for y'all. Y'all don't have to read any more extra books. Everything, whatever is there in your syllabus is as it is covered in this book. Maybe y'all can try a soft copy. If not, we have library copies also. If y'all want to purchase also, it is okay because it's just around the one which I have is just 100 rupees or something. It's very cheap. You'll get it even anywhere, any bookstore, Avenue Road if you go. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So y'all, if y'all have any doubts, y'all
Ma'am,
can post. Yeah, tell me.
ma'am, will you provide notes, PDF?
PDF, yeah, we can see about it. Since everything is there in one book, I don't think there is a need for y'all to make notes. I mean, for me to provide y'all notes, but if y'all still require, I will give y'all. It's just one
Okay,
small,
ma'am.
very small textbook it is.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, shall we wind up? Good afternoon to all then. Okay, bye.
Okay, ma'am. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
I'll end the meeting. Okay. Yeah, y'all can leave. Yeah, bye.